Hello again, I am Blunty. Now, this morning, in fact 3 a.m. this morning, Australian time, this thing happened. It's the Xboxreveal event, so we finally get to see what the new Xbox is going to be all about. They're calling it the Xbox One, which was a surprise, because it's a stupid name for the third Xbox. Xbox 360, which they did not call Xbox 2 because they didn't want it Xbox 2 versus PlayStation 3 because 3 is bigger than 2. It's a marketing thing. So they called it 360 and they justified it with saying, oh, it's going to be the center of your existence, and 360 all around it, you know. Coincidentally, they said a lot of the same things in this event. It's going to be the center of your entertainment lifestyle thingy, lounge room stuff, and whatever. Xbox One is just a stupid name as far as I'm concerned. But at least it'll be easier to get used to than Nintendo Wii, or Wii U even. It's not that stupid. Still a stupid name. On the bright side, Xbox One is actually a lot better than the stupid fan alternatives that have been kicking around for years now. Xbox 720, that's stupid. It ignores the very reason why the original one was called the Xbox 360. 720 is turning back stupid, moron, retarded, idiotic thing. What was the other one? Xbox Evolution or Xbox. There are so many good possibilities, and they came up with Xbox One. Really? That's the best you can do with spending a gajillion dollars on marketing research? Xbox One? When it's the third one? Sure, that won't confuse anybody. Anyway, unlike, it seems, the rest of the entire internet, gaming vlogger, blogger, gaming site, writer, journalist, kind of Twitterer, anything, anybody, everywhere online. The only things I can find are people freaking the frig out about this friggin' thing. And it's pointless, because this was a reveal event, not the entire sort of, hey, this is everything it can do, and that's all it can do. That's it. Make your buying decision now. No, this was a reveal event. And even more idiotically, a lot of people are losing their minds because Microsoft spent far more time talking about everything else except gaming on this gaming device, or at least device with a strong gaming device heritage. Of course, it's now becoming more, and they're trying to make it the center of your entertainment living space and all that sort of stuff. And people are losing their mind and saying, well, I'm going to boycott it because it's not about games anymore. I've actually seen this stuff written. Announcement. This is a pure announcement. I'm boycotting Microsoft because they didn't talk about games as much as I wanted them to talk about games. You fucking idiot. What do you think E3 is going to be for? E3 is about games. And it's happening real soon. They're saving all the gaming stuff for that because that's where it belongs. This is just a reveal event where they have time to talk about everything else it does. Whereas E3 is going to be all about the games. So just stop losing your minds, you friggin' idiots. Calm down. Stop. Think. Breathe. Relax. Consider. Then generate an opinion. I'm so tired of this stupid gamer attitude of knee-jerk reactions to everything that's ever said online about any gaming-related product at all. It's just, this is a thing. Oh, I hate it, it's stupid. And they freak the hell out, and it's just stupid and idiotic. And I've come to the point where I don't want to call myself a gamer anymore because I don't want to be put in the same bucket as these screeching, bigoted, idiotic, thoughtless morons. Now, there has to be another name for it except for gamer, because I don't want to be one of those people anymore. I love video games, and I've been playing video games for my entire life. 34 now. Video games have been around for about a year longer than I've been alive. I've been playing them the entirety of my life. I am a gamer, but I don't want to be called a gamer anymore because I don't want to be put in the same pigeonhole as you assholes out there who are freaking out about this stuff and screaming on Twitter and being sort of childlessly snarky about all this stuff. Just shut up. Shut the fuck up. But in any case, all of that ranting aside, I did make a few notes as I was watching the reveal event this morning, and I wanted to go through a few of my thoughts on the Xbox One so far and what it may represent and how my opinions are starting to form a shape which will not be complete and finalized until at least I've got a unit in my hands for a proper review. You know, E3 is going to reveal more, as we've just said, and the shape will become more defined then, but right now it's just this amorphic blob inside my skull bouncing off the walls wondering, oh, what if? I wonder if it's going to do this. I wonder if this is going to pan out this way. That's the way you should be thinking right now. Make no judgments yet. This is a reveal event. Anyway, so let's go through my list here and talk about some of the stuff I noticed. First thing I noticed was that little trailer they had in the beginning with a bunch of different faces. And you're going, this is my gaming and Xbox means this to me. And I'm very, very careful about diversity there. There was one of those corporate things where it's make sure we have one of these, at least one of every color possible. And put some people with accents in there. But, you know, all of them were between 18 and 35 anyway. So diversity in skin color only. And it's kind of ridiculous, I noticed. Something else I noted early on, it didn't take them long to mention cloud gaming. Xbox One is powered by cloud gaming, which is a pointlessly nebulous term because the cloud is meaningless. It's the internet. The cloud is just a term used to describe any part of the internet, which you can't get at directly through a web browser usually. It's a ridiculous name. I've hated it forever, and it burns me no end that it has become the de facto term for describing the internet, except for the web stuff, the browser stuff. There's the web stuff and the cloud. I hate the term. And I'm not going to like it anytime soon. And I'm already sick about hearing about cloud gaming on Xbox One, even though we've only had an hour's worth of discussion about the friggin' thing. And they were kind of nebulous about what it would all mean in the end. Anyway, what is cloud gaming going to mean for me sitting on my fat ass in that couch over there playing video games? What is it going to do for me? Nothing, really. Pointless. To me. I don't know. A few notes here about how they were going on about putting you at the center, and that's exactly the same stuff they said at the Xbox 360 event, and all the press sensed that. That's why they called it 360. We already discussed that. It's an all-in-one device. It'll do TV and stuff, and you can stream live TV through it and control it, which is all stupid from my point of view because it's not coming to Australia. That's USA only kind of stuff, as this stuff always is. By the time the Xbox One get here, a third of the crap they were going on and on and on about, oh, this is wonderful, this is wonderful, this is wonderful, we won't get it, and neither will anyone else except the USA, so it's kind of pointless talking about that crap. Oh yeah, the controller looks really nice, it looks very polished. They haven't changed it much. They've gone sort of the PlayStation route this time and haven't broken or haven't fixed what isn't broken or haven't broke what isn't fixed. Anyway, it looks basically the same. They've shifted a few things around and there might be a couple extra buttons on there, and they've got a new rumble feature which isn't sort of built in the middle somehow. It's underneath the triggers or something, which is weird, and I don't know what to make of that until I try it, but it's an interesting stab at innovation. At least I don't think it'll change the general gaming experience that much. I'm not a big fan of rumble anyway. It's normally just used to go, oh, you took a hit, or oh, you're driving over some rough terrain. It's always been kind of ancillary to my gaming experience, really. I don't miss it when it's not there, quite honestly, which means it's not that important to me. I don't know, you guys might love rumble and absolutely hate it when it's missing. You feel like something's not there, particularly you guys who are like, I don't know, like 16 or so now. Every gaming system you've ever owned has probably had rumble built into it. Not me. I grew up without rumble, and it's never become a necessary part of my gaming experience. But this new, I forget what they called it, this new rumble trigger act thingy. Anyway, the rumble's in the triggers now for some reason. Seems stupid to me, but hey. Yes, the tile interface, which has grown from what we have now on the current Xbox. Hopefully it won't be as impossibly, incredibly, infuriatingly slow as the current Xbox interface is, because that thing is just a piece of shit. I hate the tile interface on the current Xbox dashboard. I hate the tile interface on Windows Phone. I hate it on Windows 8, this stupid tile interface. I don't like it, but I'll put up with it because I'm not going to be staring at it very often. It's just something I have to push through to be able to play my games or watch a movie or whatever I'm going to wind up doing with the Xbox One. Although I did the instant switching thing where you can Xbox, switch the TV, but I already talked about that. It's not going to work properly for Australians until, well, a local gaming journalist did ask Microsoft Australia, so when is this stuff going to be available to us? It's not at launch, obviously. And they went, no, not at launch, not at launch. Oh, when are we going to be able to get it? Later. Nebulous and non-committal and useless. So let's not talk about that. But it looked cool. Seems like a good idea, nifty idea to be able to have the game playing there. And in the little side panel, you've got your TV playing, or a Skype call, or the web browser. Hopefully that stuff will still work. The TV stuff won't, obviously, but having a web browser sitting there, or your Twitter feed, or whatever you've got sort of sitting in the little sideline there. Multitasking at the 10-foot interface. It seems like a good way to achieve that, which has always been a bit tricky. Multitasking on tablet or on a computer, laptop or whatever has always been pretty easy. You can switch and swipe and tab, alt tab, and all that kind of stuff. But at that 10-foot interface on the TV, it's always been a bit tricky, and Google TV tried it not very successfully, and this seems like it might be a good way to get around that, just having that sidebar there and shrinking down the main window so you can still play your game and do whatever you need to do in the sidebar as well. It's all voice activated, so you don't have to type anything or take your hands off the controller or anything. Should work well, hopefully. I like that bit. It seems like it has a lot of interesting potential. Oh yes, the new Kinect, which they're claiming is, of course, the best Kinect ever, which it would kind of have to be. I have to admit, my Kinect, I do have a Kinect, I've had it since launch, and it is sitting on top of my TV right now, and I have not used it since 2 weeks after launch. In fact, it's not even plugged into my Xbox right now. That's how pointless the whole thing seemed to me. It was interesting, the technology is interesting, but it never got a decent application. There was nothing ever in any aspect of the experience, either on the gaming side or swiping through the menus or the voice activation or recognizing me and all that kind of stuff. It's all completely pointless and ancillary to the way I use my Xbox. So I unplugged it when I was rearranging some stuff, and I realized I'd never actually plugged it back in again. It was completely useless. But the new Kinect is completely integrated into the system. It comes with the system by default, and the whole thing is based around it, and it's supposed to be a lot better. But on the other hand, I don't really want to flail at my TV and talk at it from across the room just to change the channel or do something. I just want to press a button in silence, nice and quiet, nice and discreet, easy. I don't want to go, hey Xbox, do this thing, or have to do this to make things expand or shrink or something. Ugh. No, thank you. It's got a 1080p camera, a regular camera like you're seeing me, which will help for good quality Skype calls and video conferencing and all that sort of stuff, I suppose. It can see in the dark. It's got an infrared camera apparently, so even if you're sitting in the dark watching a movie, you can still do that sort of infrared black and white normal camera conversation kind of stuff if you really want to. And it's got a new way to track your 3D movement. It's not doing it the same way the original Kinect does with that little light field thing. It's apparently tracking individual photons and timing how long they take to come back, and 2 gigabits of data going back and forth every second or something ridiculous like that. But apparently it works quite well. It's a lot more sensitive, a lot more accurate. It's be able to track you properly, won't get confused depending on what clothes you're wearing anymore apparently. If all of what they say is going to be true and works in the real world, in real people's living rooms, then it should be interesting. Hopefully they'll have an application that's worth using it for, because like I said, mine is useless, not even plugged in. And with Kinect essentially built in, it's mandatory. So it's always sitting there, watching and listening. Even when the system is powered down, it's in a low power mode, it's never really off, it's listening all the time. That seems to be a little bit of a, invasion of privacy to me. A console that's constantly connected to the internet, by default, has a camera and a microphone in my living room that's listening all the time. How about no? Oh, the other thing, much wider field of view. I had to rearrange my living room, because I have a very small living room. I had to rearrange my living room when I originally got the Kinect because the space between it and my couch was too short when I first got it, so I had to go long ways in my living room. The new Kinect apparently has a much wider lens on it, which should help out those of us who live in small city apartments. So that's good. They mentioned it had 3 OSs, 3 different operating systems on the one device, which sounds like a complete disaster waiting to happen. It's got the Xbox operating system, which handles the games and stuff. Presumably it's been specially optimized just for gaming. Then it's got sort of a Windows 8 core sitting off to the side somewhere, which again seems like a complete disaster waiting to happen, because guess what? Windows 8, not doing so well in the market. People hate it to bits. So I don't know why Microsoft would want to cram that in a corner of the new Xbox. It just seems stupid. But apparently that's where things like the web browser and Skype and all that ancillary stuff is running, which is probably why it can run concurrently with the game in the little snap to the sidebar thing they've got going on. And apparently there's a 3rd operating system which handles talking between those 2 other operating systems. The whole arrangement seems pointlessly complex to me. I don't know that much about low-level programming on that side of things. I'm a pretty cluey guy, but I don't know much about that kind of stuff. But I do know that whenever you're running more than one operating system on a singular device, you're gonna run into issues. Needlessly complex is the word I would use for that arrangement. I wouldn't have even mentioned it if I was Microsoft. I just would have said, yeah, it does that. Don't tell people it's got 3 different OSs on it. That's not a good thing to tell people. The stupid people won't understand what you're talking about and just confuses them in general. The geeks out there will go, why are you doing that? It seems stupid. Whatever. And either way you go, it's whatever. Whatever. Oh, here's the note I made about the controllers. Dynamic impulse triggers. Now, it's got a new D-pad, the cross-style one, because the Nintendo patent has expired since a few years back, so they can use the cross-type D-pad now, which is good news if you like fighting games, because as we all know, the D-pad on the original Xbox 360 controller is awful in ways that even Satan himself was going, that's just evil to put that in people's hands, dude. New Xbox Live, same membership, cloud storage, anytime, anywhere. Yeah, sure, so long as the servers are actually running and up and everything and your internet connection is fine. I just want local saves. That's all I really need. Game DVR, native editing and sharing, same kind of thing that PlayStation talked about in their PlayStation 4 reveal, which they didn't really talk about much, but presumably it also means it keeps track of the last X number of minutes of gameplay, so you can hit a button, save that off to your hard drive, and either keep playing or go and edit it, and then send it on up to a sharing service like YouTube or Twitch or I don't know, Twitter. Or it does make you kind of wonder what game publishers are actually going to think about this ability to record our games and upload them instantly anywhere we like. I mean, Nintendo have just started laying claim to any video with their games in it on YouTube, so they get advertising money instead of the people who actually made the videos to begin with, even if they're filled with commentary and review stuff, which is allowed by copyright law. Dynamic achievements. Now, this is something else that's got people in a frizz about it. There are a lot of achievement hunters out there who go, no, well, I want dynamic achievements that change as we play the game, and they can add new stuff to it anytime they like, and it depends on community activity and all this stuff. I want one set of achievements that I can clear them all and then go, I am the ultimate gamer with no life and I have nothing but time on my hands and no day job. Well, I think the dynamic achievements are an interesting thing to happen. One of the examples I think somebody pulled up was with Skyrim. Once an arrow in my knee became a meme, with dynamic achievements they could sort of add an achievement related to that directly into the game instantly with just a little probably update you wouldn't even notice. Just whoosh, it's there, arrow in the knee thing, and we all go, ha ha ha, that's very clever and funny and whatever. Asynchronous matching, so when you're playing one game, it can be trying to find a good match for you on another game. Games, by the way, install by default. You have to put them on your hard drive, which is a hard drive of 500 gigabytes, which is non-replaceable, by the way, so that seems a bit stupid. Making people install all of their games on a hard drive and then having a hard drive just half a terabyte big and not letting people put bigger hard drives in it. No, but you can attach another hard drive externally to it. So just like the Wii U, if you run out of space, you're forever going to have a big fucking hard drive hanging off the edge of it now, plugged in, wasting a USB port. Stupid. I don't know why they did that. Seems a silly idea. The other thing that installing your games mean, apparently you won't have to put the disc in every time you want to play a game. That's awesome. But it also means they've had to put a system in play where if you copy, well, when you copy your game to the hard drive, you don't just give your disc to somebody else or sell it or whatnot, and then they can play it and copy it. No, they're now charging a fee for secondhand games. So every game that's installed for the first time on a machine is tied to that machine. If you sell it off as a secondhand game, that person who buys it cannot play the game without giving Microsoft even more money in addition to what they just paid for their secondhand or traded game, whatever. Which a lot of people are getting pissy about, but we don't know what that fee is, how much it is. We don't know anything about it beyond that it exists, but I think it's a reasonably good idea considering the way that the Xbox works in the first place and the convenience of not having to put the disc in every time you want to play a game. It's just sitting there on your hard drive. You can put the disc in a closet somewhere and forget about it forever or sell it off. I don't know what happens if you sell that disc off, and do you still be able to keep playing the game until someone else installs it? We don't know. I don't know. It's just another complex system that needs a lot of explanation. Here's a fun question though. What if I want to lend a game to a friend? It happens all the time. I've been doing it for decades. Literally decades. I've been doing this with no problem at all. But with this new system, well, apparently my friend would have to pay a fee just to play the game that I lent them. And what happens when I get it back? If they pay the fee, does it then become bound to their account? So when they give it back to me, do I have to pay a fee again to play a game that I just lent to a friend? How's that going to work? Persistent game worlds possible. Yes, lots and lots of power and billions of servers out there so they can build persistent game worlds, which will be very, very interesting. But again, presumably these persistent game worlds exist on the Xbox Live servers, so we won't be relying on publishers keeping their servers maintained when they do that. It's just on the Xbox Live stuff, which seems a much more reliable way to do it, because if a publisher goes bankrupt or just decides to stop supporting the game, the servers they're not going to go disappear overnight. Or are they? Are the publishers going to be able to go to Xbox and say, well, we're shutting down this game, please delete all the persistent worlds off the Xbox Live service, please. Thank you. And all the games out there were, oh, son of a bitch. Who knows? We don't know. Then someone from EA came up and talked about the EA sports games for a while. Oh, yawn, who cares? I don't care about that crap, so I'm not going to speak about it. And then someone else came on and they prattled on and on about the same old stuff you hear at every single one of these events, whether it's new hardware or new game. They prattle on about, you know, innovations and new experiences and new storytelling, and well, it's just empty marketing words, and they're meaningless really until you get something in your hands. Oh yes, let's show you what the games look like, and then EA showed a bunch of pre-rendered trailers and cutscenes and stuff, and as far as I could tell, not 1 millisecond of actual gameplay, which seems fair enough because the games wouldn't be finished yet, would they? They're still working on it. It's not till the end of the year where we're going to get to actually play this stuff, but you know, they shouldn't have presented it as, let's see what the game's going to look like, when they didn't show what the games are going to look like. They showed what the trailers are going to look like, which just, you know, just more douchebaggery from EA in general. EA are, you know, kind of douchebaggy in general. Forza trailer, well, the Forza trailer did look astonishingly good. Very, very pretty. But again, pre-rendered trailer and not how the game would actually look, I bet. Cloud-powered games that change based in the actions of the community. Oh, that's how the cloud thing they were talking about. Cloud games can change their behavior depending on what the community is doing with them. I don't want that. Because as we started out this video, the vast majority of the loud gaming community these days are complete pillocks. The gamer pool, as it were, is completely polluted by arseheads. I do not want their behavior in a game to affect my gameplay experience. I don't want that to happen. No, thank you. Give me a switch to turn it off. You can keep doing it elsewhere, but just give me an item in a menu somewhere where I can just turn off that thing that happens when dickheads start affecting the way the game is played thanks to this cloud gaming bullshit. Now, here's a good thing. 15 exclusives coming out in the first year. That's 15 exclusive titles in the first year, plus the cross-platform stuff. 8 of those exclusives are brand new franchises. Hooray! Are you listening, Nintendo? A new gaming machine needs lots of new games to play. No point having the hardware sitting over there if we don't have games to play. Nintendo, I'm looking at you. Games sell machines. They make them useful. And more about the immersive personalized TV. Yes. If you're in the US, which I'm not, so who cares? Halo and 343, Bonnie Ross came out, and yes, evolving storytelling and innovation and stuff and all those words as usual. And then we got told there's a live-action Halo series being made by Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg came on in a pre-recorded message saying, yes, I'm doing this thing, it should be cool, dudes. And I played Pong once when I was younger, because that gives me video game cred. I'm Steven Spielberg, I play Pong. Yeah, I can relate to you people, because I play Pong. You pillock. Steven Spielberg, Pong. Just toddle off, Spielberg. Have you been a loyal Xbox 360 gamer? You know that huge library of games that you got? Well, the new one's not backwards compatible, so you have to keep your old system around and plugged in anyway. Isn't that lovely and convenient and not bulky and cumbersome at all? Of course it really doesn't matter. I mean, you've played those games to death by now, haven't you? Surely you'll never want to ever play them again. I guess basically the way to sum this all up is I got slightly less excited as the thing droned on, because they were talking about all this kind of stuff that here in Australia I wouldn't be able to do until later, whenever later even occurs. Thanks, Microsoft Australia, you've been really fucking on top of that. So yeah, withhold judgment until E3 at least, when they're actually going to be talking about all the games stuff in a lot greater detail, presumably, hopefully. But in the end, who cares about being thoughtful about this stuff? This is the internet, the place for knee-jerk reactions and people to get angry about things before they know the complete story. And by the time the complete story comes out, and they look like idiots if you go back far enough, but nobody remembers that back that far. You know, it's been a couple of days ago since I was angry about that. Turns out it was complete bullshit, and now I'm angry about something else entirely. Just move on. It's the way the internet works. So just calm down, think, then speak. This first, then this. This, then this. It's really quite simple, people. Very simple indeed. Well, that was an hour's worth of my time at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I came away moderately enthused to hear about more. I will say this: it does look very pretty. The sort of horizontal boxy design of it. The instant I tweeted this earlier, the instant someone makes a vinyl skin based off the design of the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES, they'll have my money because the thing looks custom built to be covered in a skin to make it look like an NES. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. I hope you found this vaguely interesting. People wanted to know what I thought, so this is what I think. After the Xbox One reveal event. As for why I didn't do one of these after the first reveal event for the PlayStation, well, they didn't have any details at all worth talking about. At least Microsoft came out and said, here are some actual details and things you can look at, and here's what the thing looks like, and here's what we're doing with it, and that's all very exciting. And it was much more filled with information, at least, than PlayStation's thing. I will talk about the PlayStation 4 once more information comes to light. Probably at E3, or after E3 at least, because I'm not going to E3, unfortunately. Stuck here in Australia. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I'll catch you next time.